So, John, your quarterback is pretty good on any day, whatever time of day it might be. I'm just interested if you are aware of his numbers on Monday Night Football specifically.
He's won a lot of games on Monday Night Football.
He has 22 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. That defies logic and reason. I'm curious if you have any explanation for that level of absurd excellence under the brightest lights there are.
No, but I'm really happy about it. It makes me really happy as a coach. Lamar, he's a special guy when the lights come on. But for him, the lights always come on. Now, if it's practice, if it's a game, it doesn't matter. The lights are on for Lamar. He likes to compete.
I worked with Paul Azinger for a while covering golf, major champion, Ryder Cup captain, and he had a fantastic line to describe this idea. He said, everyone likes to be noticed, but not everyone's comfortable being watched. He was talking mostly about the idea of Tiger. I feel like Lamar Jackson is the type of person and performer, really, who was born to be watched, who is just not just comfortable, but prefers that. Is that reasonable?
I do agree with that. And I think the greatest players, like in sports, don't mind being on stage. They want to be the guy that is the center of attention in the biggest moments. A corner who wants the ball thrown his way when it means the most, or a pass rusher who wants, a critical situation, one-on-one opportunity against a tackle, right? To me, those are the guys that you want to have on your team, that's for sure.
His excellence is obvious. He's already been an MVP. But you talked this week about his IQ for the game, his intelligence for the game. What traits are you seeing become even more obvious year after year?
Well, I think his experience is kind of kicking in. Like, he's always had a great eye for the game. Like, he sees the field in a unique way. Quarterbacks, we talk about every position in terms of their ability to process the game. So linebackers process the game a certain way. They see their reads and their keys, and they just kind of react to it. We think it's more of a snapshot than it is a linear type of progression. It's not like A to B to C to D. It's like A, B, C, D, and E all together at the same time. They take a snapshot and they react to it because the game moves so fast. And they really don't think about it. That's kind of the genius of it. Lamar has always had that. Like, he's always seen the field. He's always been able to come off the field and tell you, hey, this, number 2 was here, number 4 was there, number 3 was over the top, or whatever it might be. And you'd be like, oh my gosh, it's, how did he see that? How does he remember that? He just has like a photographic memory for it. But now I think he's been able to take the experiences that he's had 8 years as a quarterback in the National Football League and just apply them so much more where the old term, the game slows down for you. The game is really slow for Lamar right now. And you can just kind of see it in the way he processes, the way he operates, the decisions he makes. He makes a lot of great plays just by seeing things on the field that other people don't see.
When the schedule comes out and we see this, we're excited because kind of heavyweights from different conferences, but it's September. I'm interested in what kind of feedback that's valuable for you are you likely to get out of a game such as this that's admittedly early, but I imagine given who's on the other side of the field, like there's the opportunity to learn something about yourself.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I do think early in the season you learn so much about your team. You're still trying to discover kind of who you are, how you want to operate, what you're going to be good at, where you're going to go. But you also have to try to find a way to win games because the games all count, and a win or a loss now is going to count later, especially when you're going against such a good team. We're playing a lot of good teams early in the season this year. So we have an opportunity to really kind of discover ourselves. So you lose a game like we did 2 weeks ago, a tough game, it brings those things into sharp focus. You win a game like we did last week, it's sometimes not as sharp a focus, and you need to make it a sharp focus because what you're really trying to do is improve from the past because you know what happened, to take that knowledge into the future, which is an unknown, and create a really good outcome for yourself. I mean, that's really what it boils down to, the past and the future. So we want to win the game, but we want to play as well as we can, but we want to learn from it going forward because that's going to impact the rest of our season.
You alluded to that game earlier, and it's, double-digit lead, and it gets away, and you're like, what's that about? And the thing that I notice about your group, John, is that when it happens, you don't finger point as a group, you don't implode, you don't spiral. It feels like what you do is flush it, learn from it, and leave it behind you. That's, to me, speaks to culture. How do you all do that in a way where it doesn't become a mushroom cloud?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, everything in perspective, but I think it starts with just having the right people. We have the right kind of people. We do a really good job here of bringing in the kind of people that are going to fit here and do well here. Guys who love football, guys who want to work, guys who care about their teammates, guys who, want to be on stage. They want to be in the middle of things. And when you're a leader like that, an opportunity like that is what you kind of recognize. In other words, yeah, we had a tough loss. Okay, how am I going to respond to this? Because how I respond to it is going to kind of set the tone for who I am going forward. In other words, it's a chance to make a statement in a different kind of a way, and I think our guys do a good job of that.
Gary Williams, Hall of Fame basketball coach at Maryland, has been a good friend forever. He's good friends with your owner, Steve Bisciotti, and he shared with me this thought, and it makes a ton of sense. He said, one of the hardest things to do is to coach with a large lead because you tend to not play the way that you played to build the lead. And I get it. You wouldn't take as many risks necessarily, but I'm interested in your philosophy of that because I'm going to get to this in a minute. You've spent a ton of time playing with large leads. Is there something to that?
There's a lot to that, and it's exactly right. And you have to really fight against that. And I think probably the biggest thing we haven't done is we haven't done that. We haven't continued to play with kind of the same, I don't know if it's an edge, but there's just the same attack kind of a mindset.
But isn't that human nature?
It is human nature. That's the problem with the whole thing. And then a bad thing or two happens. We had so many of them, so we've lost more than most. But still, we need to be way better in those situations because you just got to keep coming after people. You have to make plays. And we've probably done more trying to avoid plays being made against us. And what happens when you do that is plays get made against you. You get a tip pass for a touchdown that's just a crazy play that probably shouldn't happen. Or you get a pass interference, kind of a bad luck on a fourth down. And all of a sudden, now the momentum starts to go against you, and you even kind of go more into a shell. So, no, we need to keep getting after people. We need to play. It's an advantage to be behind because you have nothing to lose. When you're way ahead, you have a lot to lose. It's just like in life, But you can't live your life like you have something to lose. You got to live your life like you got nothing to lose.
But you've lived in that space more than most. We did the research on this. Like, since you've been the head coach.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Well, but it's important because since you've been the coach here, only the Patriots have had more second half double-digit leads, 162. Only the Patriots have more double-digit wins. Like, you've lived in that space, and it's worth pointing that out. Like, the team you play this week, Detroit, they came in a couple of years ago. You're both 5-1. You beat them by 35 points. I mean, I feel like that ought not get lost in this conversation.
We didn't lose that lead, yeah.
Pardon me?
We didn't lose that lead. We kept that lead.
35 would be a tough one to let get away. But I do think that that's a space that you all have lived in more than most. And I would imagine that that's what you're trying to do.
Right, yeah. Well, with that commercial, we've seen a few things, so we know a few things, and we've learned a lot about it. And we have learned that we want to be great in all those situations. We don't want to lose any of those games. So, we're kind of ticked off about it. Our guys are mad about it. Like you said, they don't point fingers. It's just, what can we learn? And let's go win the next one when we're in that situation.
You've been remarkably consistent during your time here. And I think that's a tenet among successful people is consistency, the discipline to continue to do the same thing over and over because it works. But the most successful people, I believe, also evolve. They're willing to do the things that work because they work, and then also maybe try some things that might work. How have you balanced the idea of what I do is great? I'm saying that, you didn't. But I also, there's things that I need to try to learn as we move forward.
Yeah, to me, you hit it on the head. First of all, you're always evolving and growing because you always should know more tomorrow than you knew today, more today than you knew yesterday. So you're growing in that sense. But also the point is that there's certain principles that are written in stone. Those things aren't going to change. Those are what we're based on. Those are foundational. Those are self-evident truths of football, or life. These are things that just are true. So we're not losing those values, but the rest of it, you got to keep moving. This is ever-changing. This is strategy. This is a high-level operation. People are smart. You can't live in the same world. You can't run the same plays. You can't run the same blitzes. You can't run the same coverages. Can't be the same kickoff returns. You've always got to be finding new ways to keep it moving on people and keep surprising people and do something different. And when we don't do that, or if you're the kind of a coach that lives in one system and this is me, this is what I do, and everything needs to fit to what I do, eventually people are going to overtake you, and you're gonna lose ground. So always find the next thing, the next way, the next strategy, the next technique, the next advantage for your players, and try to put your players in position where they have an edge over their opponent.
You guys are really good, great, potentially the best in the league. That'll bear out over time, but you can't demonstrate that until after Christmas and after New Year's, right? This is a process league. What do you enjoy most, John, about this process from this opportunity on a Monday night home game, by the way? Thanks for that, right?
Yeah.
The opportunity.
Are you saying it's a rare Monday night home game? Possibly.
Not for nothing. You guys play a lot of Monday night games on the road. I know a home game is probably preferable for you and for the Raven fans, but the process of, all right, this is a big September game, but we want to play in the most important game come February. What do you enjoy most about what is in front of you?
Right. Well, the challenge, I mean, you're walking kind of into the cloudy, you don't know what's in front of you, the kind of the smoke, it's murky. It's the future, we're not given another future. So that's what makes it so exciting. And so, it brings that tension. It's not anxiety. Hopefully it's not worry. It's tension. Tension is good. Like bridges, bridges have tension. There's tension bridges, you got to have tension to have strength. We want to have tension. We want to not know what's ahead of us. So let's go forward, man, into this great unknown and just see what we can become. But the first future is the one right in front of us, which is Monday night against the Detroit Lions. Let's be the very best we can be. Let's be the best we can be. Let's make a decision. Let's choose. Let's decide how we're going to play. Not about the outcome. We hope the outcome is positive, but we can decide how we're going to play. If we go play, and if we decide to play a certain way, if we decide to play hard, physical, run to the ball, play with discipline, try to do things right, pre-snap. If we decide to do that, then we have a chance to play well. But I know we can play that way because that's up to us.
Is your appetite for this still is as it seems as hearty as it's ever been? I mean, you've done this for a long time. I've been lucky to do this for a long time. I was thinking about this driving up today.
Right.
Who's got it better than us?
Nobody.
It's the
Jack
truth,
Harbaugh.
right?
It's the
I mean,
truth.
you got outwardly grateful for what this is, this conversation with you, but the appetite, as long as you maintain that hunger and appreciation for what it is, I think that gives us the opportunity to be the best we can be, doesn't it?
I mean, let's just be honest. We wake up in the morning, we're still alive, man.
Start with that.
Start with that. Start with that for anybody. You have a chance to live a day of life, and who could have a better job? Who could have a better job than you have?
No one. I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah, I mean, you got a great
People might
job.
argue I can't do this, but here I am.
You're pretty good at it.
Well,
that's too
kind.
bad. That's why you're still doing it. But you're also pretty good at it because you love it and because you can't wait to do it. And that, to me, if you approach, hey, my dad always says, attack this day with enthusiasm unknown to mankind. Yeah.
Right. I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
Well, I think people take from that. I mean, because there's truth in it.
I can't tell you how many people come up to me and they say, hey, coach, who's got it better than us? So many people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a cool thing. I want to close with this, the idea of Monday Night Football. I saw Lamar was asked this week, did he watch? And he said, no, my mom told me I'd go to school, man.
Yeah, right.
And I can remember bartering with my mom. Can I stay up when Washington was on? Go to halftime. I'd pass out. Monday Night Football in the Harbaugh household. I can imagine. I mean, I'm picturing mayhem with your brother, whatever. Do you have memories of the idea of the game being on?
Yeah, I remember, Howard Cosell and Dandy Don, I remember that part of it. I remember being allowed maybe to stay up till halftime. You get to halftime, and then, like you said, you were already asleep anyway. But it was a big treat. I mean, Monday Night Football, the music, it was a treat.
And the lights are the brightest. I mean, Monday night you'll be at home and the music will be playing and everybody will be watching you. And that's where the Ravens, I think you guys, as a group collectively, I think that's where you guys are supposed to be, isn't it?
We're going to be there. We're going to show up. Our team will be at the stadium at right in time for the game.
The appointed hour?
Yeah, we'll be at the appointed hour. We'll be ready to play. And then you know what we'll do? It's going to be a late night, and we're going to get up on Tuesday, and we're going to be ready for the next one too. That's kind of how this whole thing works.
I understand. I appreciate you making some time in your week for us, and all the best until we cross paths again.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.